at that point, it's really hard to change the status quo and convention.
Especially when it's profitable.
Yeah. And so a lot of times, I mean, I'm just shocked at how many times people go with their business to the people in place already, and they're like, yeah, we're not really interested in that. And that ends up becoming this,
their own arc.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. So
yeah, people get very blinded when things are going their way.
Yeah.
It's hard to be critical of something that's working.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And they were working, and they're like, look, you're making money, we're making money. Why would we cut our margin?
Don't rock the boat. I think that's it. I think we're live.
Are we live?
I think the camera just turned on.
Hey, we are back.
Back again.
Back on this Founders Drive.
Another beautiful Michigan morning.
Yes, man. Spring is finally opening up. It's finally opening up. I still got my coat here because I'm not trusting it. I'm not
really
trusting
you
it.
really can't trust
No,
it.
I can't. I got to bundle up right here. You know what I'm saying? It might be 20 degrees and snowing in 2 days. I don't know.
That's
I don't
right.
know.
That's right.
Oh, man. But no, let's get into it.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, we got Sam Walton today.
And he's famously known for
Walmart.
I love a good Walmart.
Yeah,
I love a good clearance section of Walmart.
I'll never forget, man. I was up in Yellowknife, Canada. That's like
all the way north.
The boonies, man.
Yeah.
Like that's parallel with Anchorage, Alaska, I believe.
Yeah.
It took forever. I was like, man, we are still flying north. My God. But when I went up there, I remember there being a Walmart.
All the way up there.
Yeah, in that town of like 25,000 people in such a remote place, the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And there was the Walmart there. But I think it speaks to the ethos, which we'll find out, is that they dominated small towns in small areas where, they were the main place that people would go to for their shopping.
Yeah, the rural setup.
Yeah.
I like it. Walmart's great. I spent a lot of time at Walmart in high school. Just like it was the only place that was open 24/7. Yeah, like the giant parking lots. It was the only place that was open 24/7, so you could like go get a donut or a soda whenever you wanted. It was really nice. I mean, they don't do that anymore. Ever since COVID, everything's not 24/7, but
yeah,
it was like the hangout spot for some of our like small town.
You have a different relationship with Walmart. I didn't realize this right now. Tell me more, man. You take the lead on this one.
No. I'm just saying what I've experienced after Sam Walton had built his empire.
Yeah, it was a staple. It is like a community staple. Even up there, Walmart was like the mall.
Yeah.
And it was just a central place. And today we're going to get into a little bit about Sam Walton. I mean, he died before either of us were born.
Right.
And
built the whole legacy before we were born.
Right. And he obviously had his whole journey to get to Walmart. It wasn't his first thing. In fact, he started Walmart when he was 44.
Yes.
So he had plenty of experience before. But I think in starting from his childhood, we're going to see that he had the tellings and showed a lot of signs that he was going to be doing something of a huge magnitude. He was very passionate about what he did. And then we're also going to get into some of the controversial aspects of Walmart. That's something that we were just talking about. I think one thing that we're learning is that there's a lot of trade-offs in pursuing something super ambitious.
Yeah.
And these guys don't just operate in isolation. And so just talking about differing opinions, backlash, people that weren't so, happy about Walmart's decisions along the way and Sam Walton's decisions along the way, I think are also good to highlight to give the whole story context.
Yeah, I do like starting though off with the fact that he did this at 42.
Yeah.
And it wasn't something where he was born with a spoon in his, silver spoon or anything, and he had it just kind of given to him. And it also means if you're younger than 42 right now and haven't built an entire empire, that's okay.
That's okay. You have time.
Yes.
You have time. So yeah, let's jump into it. So Sam Walton was born in the Depression era, 1918.
The year the First World War ended.
Yeah, but he showed signs of early ambition, even through all of the depression and seeing just America at its low point. So he's born March 29th, 1918 in Oklahoma. His father, Thomas Walton, was a banker, a farmer, a farm loan appraiser, and real estate and insurance agent. His mother, Nancy Walton, and he had a brother named James, and they lived on their farm in Kingsfisher until 1923, and then they moved around Missouri. The main reason why they moved around was because of the Depression. His father worked as a farm loan officer, like I was saying, but during the Depression, hit this Dust Bowl region. The Depression hit this Dust Bowl region pretty brutally.
Yeah.
And his father had to deliver foreclosure notices to hundreds of farmers. Sam watched him try to help them retain their self-respect, even as he took their land.
That's like a weird thing,
isn't it?
Because you're growing up, and this is rural, right?
Yeah.
Everyone kind of knows everybody.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, we're gonna foreclose on your land.
Yeah, we can't, we can't do this. We gotta, so that's something that he did see, try to handle that at least graciously. And the experience, like burned frugality in his mind. And that's something that we've seen with a lot of people in this time period, is that it's hard to forget what it's like to experience that.
The Great Depression. Yeah. Literally.
I mean, there's shades of that with the Great Recession in 2008.
Sure.
That we saw, but I think it was another degree in that 2000, in that early 1930s.
Oh, 100%. I mean, people losing their homes.
Yeah.
I mean, people did lose homes in 2008, but it was like the second home, the third home.
Well, and a lot of protections that at least somewhat were in place during the Great Recession came from the Great Depression.
Exactly.
So, but anyway, so his family moved around through small towns in Missouri during this time, and it put a strain on the family early on, and I caused him to be more resourceful. Him and his brother got jobs and tried to contribute where they could. But that being said, he also showed signs of a high achievement early on. Yeah. So he, while he was at school, he was the student body president. He was the captain of the football team. He was voted the most versatile boy in his senior year.
It's an interesting award.
Yeah, and he said that he's the most versatile boy. I'm the most versatile boy.
Very 30s.
He's the most versatile boy out there. That's Sam Walton.
Exactly.
Right. But he never lost a game when he was on his football team, which is kind of cool. And it just kind of set this high bar for achievement and success. And it's, again, his inklings of his personality seemed to show throughout the rest of his career. Yeah. He was always the guy that would go up to people and greet them and do all this other stuff. But yeah, he was also an Eagle Scout when he was in 8th grade, the youngest one in Missouri, I think. Still. So he was, again, a high achievement individual. He went to University of Missouri, enrolled as an ROTC cadet, studied economics, paid his way through college by delivering newspapers, waiting tables, and lifeguarding. He was voted as permanent president of his graduating class in 1940.
Permanent president.
Yeah, and then he got his bachelor's there. Yep. He said that he learned a lot. He learned that one of the secrets of campus leadership was the simplest thing: speak to people coming down the sidewalk before they speak to you. I would always look ahead and speak to the person coming down towards me. If I knew them, I would call them by name. But even if I didn't know them, I would still speak to them. And that's like a really powerful lesson, is engage people before they engage you. I think it speaks to, more broadly today, is a version of marketing. Yes. Just engage with the people around you. He was student body president at the time, so it was more engage with your constituents, but the business analogy there is engage with your market.
It's so easy today to not. It's so easy today to either build something, to run a business, or to do something that's not even in the public light, or like you're just not telling people about it. It's so easy to do that and then think you're making progress. Yeah. And that's where it's like you really have to battle test your stuff, get it out there in the world, get people's eyes on it, get their hands on it, talk to them and figure out what they want, especially if they're voting for you and or paying for a product.
Yeah, which is
it's
like
one of the most
vote,
important things.
Right? Like $1 is like a mini vote.
Exactly. It's one of the most important things, honestly.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm always baffled at whenever we show our stuff to people, how they get caught up in one thing, or they struggle with another thing. And this is kind of a quick side tour, but I was listening to this interview with the head of, I think he was the president of Tesla, worked with Elon Musk for a long time, building the sales division and sales unit. And they often talked about how a lot of people don't even use their own product, and a lot of people can't sit through the pain of watching people use their own product or go through their experience of using that. And that's where you learn the most. And one thing that we'll find with Sam Walton is that he was one of those guys that was always walking the aisles and using his eyes to analyze what was going on and how people were experiencing the whole
and even if it wasn't his store,
retail experience,
other stores, he'd be like, how are you experiencing this store?
You
know. And so in the parallel, we've done that same thing where we've seen other people not use their own products. We had a case this week where we were flabbergasted with a sponsor who didn't use their own product. And so it just speaks to the whole, like, I don't know, I think get the feedback early and often. Regardless if they're voting for you, if they're paying for it, or whatever.
And
get the feedback early and often.
It's a lot easier than you think. It's a message away to somebody, hey, can you try this little part? And then just responding. And again, there's always something there. If it's not optimal, if the person doesn't go through and says, this was the best thing I've ever used in my life, then there's areas where you can improve on, or there's areas for reflection. And you can stumble forward.
Even if they do pay you or they do vote for you, there's still room for improvement. But
Exactly. So the next era of Sam Walton's life is the JCPenney era. And then this leads into when he went out to the war, where he met his wife, who was a pretty impactful person.
Very impactful.
The whole Walmart strategy.
And early starting.
Exactly. So 3 days after graduating from the University of Missouri, Walton started as a management trainee at JCPenney in Des Moines, Iowa. Des Moines, Iowa.
And this is like when, JCPenney was the real person. Mr. JCPenney.
What is it, James Cash Penny? Is that his?
I think so.
So he used to name kids Cash back then. That's some depression era. Naming conventions. Like, nah, man, you're Cash.
We're gonna hope for Cash.
I'm gonna name my son Bitcoin.
Crypto Bitcoin.
Crypto. Tendo Crypto Luquago. So his salary was $75 per month. Learned the fundamentals of retail operations, merchandising, customer service, store management. The JCPenney experience taught him the importance of treating employees well and keeping prices fair. Left after 18 months when he was drafted.
World War II.
Around the same time, he met Helen Robson in Claremore, Oklahoma, where he was working briefly for DuPont while waiting to be called up for military duty. They met at a bowling alley where her father had taken her, which is also important because this whole father relationship was, again, really important. It's what started what gave the seed capital.
That's the important part.
Him becoming an entrepreneur.
I think she went to the bowling alley with another guy. And Sam was like, in this era of like, I'm just gonna talk to everybody. Was like, yo, I don't care who you brought. I'm talking to you. I'm taking you home.
Hey, greet them before they greet you.
Exactly. To the point where I think they were married. What, less than a year later?
Hey, I mean, Sam Walton got game.
That's emotion right there.
That's what they're not talking about it. But Sam Walton got game. No, but Sam's Helen's father was a prominent banker and rancher in Claremore, and a man of means. And she graduated from the University of Oklahoma with a degree in finance. She was really sharp with numbers her whole life. Early on, she kept the books and was very frugal and understood that. And so they were very much in alignment early on.
And I think his father-in-law, which would be her father, was very eager to try and get Sam into the business game. Was very eager to help him out and to build this family unit. I mean, family units were huge. Back when the World War II was happening and everything. So it's a very interesting start because that spark, I mean, we're experiencing that now. It's hard to find that first spark. In terms of funding and engagement and all that stuff.
And real backing where somebody's like, hey man,
I have connections. I have wealth.
I'm invested in you
to
the point where I want to see this happen and I want to make this thing go. And I think another part is like recognizing that too, because we're reading it like it happened in like, you know, a couple minutes, but it was a couple years of, you know, him meeting his wife and then his father also seeing something in him and then him also, you know, just building the personality and the... And again, there's probably a whole bunch of different conversations and learnings that went on during the time.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of it is just also being aware of your time and then being able to lever your time.
And well, also, I think what's important to note is the confidence of taking money from your father-in-law.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that even today I would be super comfortable with. Like, just because it's like a little bit of a very close family dynamic.
Yeah. It's in,
you know,
very, it's also like, I think indicative of the times. It's just a different time.
True. Very true.
Like, yeah. I think that families were built a little bit differently. Trust was just a little bit different in terms of the zeitgeist, not even on just an individual level. And I think it's another thing too, where the businesses were so much more tangible. It was,
that's true.
I'm building the supermarket over there.
The physical brick and mortar.
I can see it. I can go there.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, touch it. Yeah,
you know, and it's not the types of businesses that we're looking at today, which are different. And I think another thing too, just to layer on that, is that the margins were also really different. Sam Walton asking for startup capital to start a physical retail business in a world where there's Amazon or Walmart Digital is a very different ask.
Oh, 100%. You know?
So
yeah. It would be very hard, and that's interesting. But I also think it's so important to get that backing, which can really propel you forward. Without that, it's very tough.
So we have the military service here, the Army Intelligence Corps,
which I believe he was stateside for.
Yeah, and he was drafted in 1942.
Yep.
Served as Captain U.S. Army Intelligence Corps. Worked as a communications officer stateside. Supervised security at aircraft plants and prisoner of war camps. Remained stateside for the duration of World War II. Never saw overseas combat. Discharged in 1945. Yep. And so, just in summary, in this part, he met his wife. He learned a lot at JCPenney, and then he went and did his service for the military.
And now he's 40-ish.
Around this time, so he's about... No, at this time, he's about 27.
Is he?
Yeah, he's about 27.
1918 to 1945?
To 1945. 1918.
Oh, yeah, I guess that would be. Yeah. Yep.
And so this is when he starts the Ben Franklin store. And he has this whole lease disaster.
That's right.
Where he gets...
That's my favorite story.
He gets played.
I don't know about played.
He gets played.
I don't know about played.
He got played, dude.
I don't know about played. Well, let's talk about it.
All right, so he goes, first store, so he opens up in Newport, Arkansas in 1945. He used $5,000 of his own savings and $20,000 borrowed from Helen's father to buy a Ben Franklin variety store.
The
franchise in Newport, Arkansas.
Yep.
Opened for business September 1, 1945. The population in Newport was about 7,000. Again, this set up the whole game plan of how Walmart, Sam Walton, but then later Walmart conducts business. The store was on Front Street, the main commercial strip. This is where he built a winner. He immediately began experimenting, buying merchandise directly from manufacturers, bypassing the Ben Franklin approved suppliers to get lower prices. Pioneered self-service displays in his variety store.
We should talk about that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Extended, then I'm gonna rattle off a few things, then we'll get into it. So then extended store hours beyond what competitors offered. Studied everything. Read trade publications, attended retail conventions, drove hundreds of miles to visit other stores and steal ideas. Within a few years, he had built the store into the #1 Ben Franklin franchise in a 6-state region. By 1950, $250,000 in annual sales, $30,000 to $40,000 in profit. Record numbers for the franchise. So let's get into it.
Just like laying the groundwork for what a Ben Franklin store might look like when Sam Walton started. You've got a basic general store. In those times, a general store would have a clerk behind the desk where you would say, hey, I want a gallon of milk, I want a bag of rice, and I want a banana. They would then turn around like a bar, grab it from the shelf, put it on the counter, and say, okay, now you're going to check out with me. It was a very slow and monotonous task, right? Because it wasn't the kind of super center shopping that we have today.
Yeah.
Where you have to, do the legwork yourself. It was very much a controlled environment. So that was one. Another thing was all the Ben Franklin stores that were franchises. We have franchisees today, right? But they had a contract with, what was it, Butler Boys or something like that. Ben Franklin has a supplier.
Yeah.
So all the franchise stores are supposed to buy from the supplier. This is obviously done to benefit the Ben Franklin company because the suppliers are adding a 25% increase for profit on every single supply that they sell. And so Sam would actually find manufacturers that are outside of that distributor to buy product from at a cheaper rate and not cut into that 25% profit that Ben Franklin was taking on every single order. So that was another way that he was able to increase these profits. I believe when he took over the store, it was around $80,000 a year. And then
I think it was
that's when he started. Then he jumped it to $250,000 a year with almost half of what it originally made in profit.
Yeah.
The 30 or 40 grand in profit was half of what they made all year in the previous year.
Oh yeah, so he was a superstar there.
Like, he was killing it.
Yeah.
This was a problem for some of the Ben Franklin company because he was skirting around that 25% profit, which cut into their profits.
Yeah.
And so they didn't punish him right away because he was the most successful store in the tri-state area.
Yeah.
And so that's something else to kind of look at. I mean, the longer hours is great. Studying other stores, absolutely. But also, like, he was so successful, it kind of put a target on his back.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of happens when you take the lead. I mean, everybody can see you in front.
Yes.
And you're going to have that target on your back. He also was really, really good about creating spectacles to bring people into the stores. I'm not sure if it was at this time at JCPenney or if it was at the Ben Franklin stores, but he would set up these different like popcorn stands
at the front of the store,
to bring people into the store.
Yep.
And he realized, oh, I can bring people in by other means outside of just lower prices, or we have this and this and this available.
Right.
So it was a very applied time for him, where he was experimenting, trying different things out, and seeing the results of that.
Yeah, I know one of the biggest experiments that he was doing was, what should my profit margins be? If I can sell something that I bought for $1, right, for $1.05 or $1.10, because everybody else is going to sell it for $1.10. If I sell it for $1.05, I will cut my profit by 5 cents, but maybe I'll sell 3 more cans. And so total, I'll actually have 15 cents versus just the 10 I would have for selling just one.
Yeah, and so it becomes the low-cost strategy is very much a volume strategy.
Yes, volume.
Yeah, so that was a really interesting time there. And again, the self-service one is again another thing that's incredibly interesting, because we take that for granted right now.
Yes.
We look at it as just how stores are set up.
Yes,
but that's not the case.
And I don't remember where it was. Was it Brazil that they started doing that and he flew down, or was it another? I think it might have been another state in the union.
And that might have been it. I don't know that.
Or I think
where they did the self-service stuff.
Yeah, they were experimenting with self-service. I think it was in the States, and he took like a 10-hour bus ride just to go check it out. He was like, "This could be the future.
Yeah,
I need to get on that before anybody else." And then started incorporating into these stores where, you would be able to go get the produce and go get the items yourself, and then come to the checkout counter, like we normally see today.
Yeah, it's so strange how you can introduce an innovation like that, or at least extended innovation like that, and then it can just become commonplace, and now we just forget how things were previously.
The reason I like to call this one out is because I think it flies anti to what we're going to talk about in about 10 minutes. I don't know if doing that is actually for the best for the customer. I don't know if me walking around your store, picking out my own things, and having to carry all that is actually better for my experience. Better for the profits, and so maybe better for me. But if I was in a world where you did it before, and now I have to do it, I wouldn't feel the same way.
Oh, well, we're seeing a little bit of it now where it's self-checkout.
Yes, exactly.
Is that
well, not just self-checkout. We have things where they have shoppers that'll shop for you, and then you'll get the stuff delivered.
Yeah.
You know, it's like these things where they're bringing that convenience back. I can imagine a time in the 40s where the clerk was the convenience. I don't have to lug around a shopping cart. I don't have to, do all these things that now you're asking me to do as a shopper. It's very interesting because I think in about 10 minutes we're talking about how far Sam is willing to go for the customer.
Yeah. Okay. So about 1950, he's still at this Ben Franklin.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
And, when Sam Walton signed the original lease in 1945, he was about 27, and he was like, I'm just trying to get right to it.
Yep.
And he missed the part where there was no renewal clause, and he had agreed to give the landlord 5% of sales.
Yep.
Now, the landlord, PK Homes, watched him build this, and he was like, okay, I'm getting 5%. I can basically back into what he's making right now.
Yeah.
And so when it came time to renew, he said, I'm not going to renew. I think I'm going to give this
to my son.
Yeah, I'm going to give this over to my son. And there was nothing that Sam Walton could do about it.
Right.
So he said, it was the lowest point of my business life. I felt sick to my stomach. I couldn't believe it was happening to me. It was really like a nightmare. I had built the best variety store in the whole region and worked hard in the community, done everything right, and now I was being kicked out of town. It didn't seem fair. I blamed myself for ever getting into such a delicate situation. But he said I'd never been one to dwell on reverses and didn't do so then, but it was a bitter experience. I had to pick myself up and get on with it, do it all over again, only better this time.
What's your take on that?
I mean, at the end of the day, like, I say he got played, and he kind of did get played, but it wasn't like he was a complete loser in the situation.
He did sell the store. So
yeah,
like
he sold a lot, and he sold a lot of inventory at a loss too.
Right.
And so it wasn't like he got away, complete scot-free, but he also didn't come away a complete loser. So
yeah,
my take on it is, like, it was a non-optimal situation that he learned from.
Yeah.
It wasn't ideal. I don't think it's as easy as starting up a new online store, and I do think that there's a lot of power in having the thing already set up and having a customer base that's coming in and that you don't have to rebuild. But he learned so many different tricks that he got to go and test it by rebuilding, and that's where the benefit comes from.
I don't think that the son would have been able to be as successful as Sam, and he clearly wasn't.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty crappy of the landlord to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It is a contract, and so it's like, know your contract, but it's also, I'm curious the kind of like public backlash, if any, happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a very close-knit community. I mean, this isn't the big city like we have today. This is, people know each other.
Yeah.
And being forced out of a small town like that, and everyone kind of knows your business, I don't know, it kind of feels like you're kind of setting yourself up for failure if you're kicking out the breadwinner of the town, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It seems a little weird.
I mean, to me, it's probably, I'm assuming it was under new management. People were like, oh, that Sam Walton
did great here.
Great here, but now he's out. And then they go and buy the stuff anyway.
Right. Yeah. It's very interesting.
Because they got to watch him and basically see what he changed, what he did differently.
Yeah.
And just keep the systems in place. Now, they didn't learn how to keep learning, which kind of sucks on their end because they could have worked something out and benefited off of it.
It was short-sighted for sure.
Yeah. But he had to take care of his kid. So
that's interesting. Yeah, I think it's a really, really crappy thing to do. Not illegal, just like a terrible thing to do.
It's like a movie scene, where
essentially,
where the young Barnum comes in there, or whatever his name was. And is like, I'm taking over now. Get out of here, Sam.
I like I'm the eldest son.
I'm the eldest boy for the Succession. For the Succession folks. That's exactly that's what that is, right? Get out of here, Sam.
So now he's got a chip on his shoulder more than he had before.
Yeah.
And now he's got let's get some success as the best form of revenge here.
Yeah, yep. And he's not one to roll over, which I like that about him.
Right.
So 1950, this is Bentonville in the 5 and dime years. Helen Walton had one condition, that she did not want to live in she didn't want to move to a town that had more than 10,000 people.
And stay rural.
Yep. And they were raising kids at this point. He found a building on the town square in Bentonville, Arkansas. Had about 3,000 people. Purchased the building. He would never again depend on a landlord. So he learned, I want to own the real estate now. And he opened Walton's 5 and dime.
I think he's still dependent on the landlord, just not for 99 years.
And so he opened on May 9th, 1950 with a 1-day remodeling sale.
Yep.
This store is now the Walmart Museum, and it became the foundation of everything.
Yeah, this is the 99-year lease. Where I'm never going to be screwed over like that again.
Nope.
I'll do it again. I'll do all this performance again. I'll get this to a successful store, but you're not going to take this away from me in my lifetime.
No. So by this point, Sam and Helen had 4 children. All 4 were born in the first 7 years of their marriage, and Sam was working long hours, traveling constantly. And it's like really important because all these people are pretty active. One passed, but the other is still pretty active. And then one of the last things that he said, kind of skipping forward ahead, was like he said that he messed up or something like that, where he gave up a lot of time building and not balancing that as much as he would have liked to with family.
Yeah,
and so
you give up a lot of things.
Yeah,
going for greatness.
Yeah. So building the Ben Franklin empire. So he didn't just run one store. He kept expanding, opening additional Ben Franklin franchises across Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma.
Yep. By
the early 1960s, he operated 15 to 16 Ben Franklin franchises. He flew his own plane, 2-seater, to scout locations, visit stores, and study competitors. He would fly low over towns, overlooking parking lots to gauge traffic and assess potential store locations from the air. And he was just obsessive during this time. He visited competitor stores constantly. More than any executive in the industry, he would walk the aisles with a legal pad, writing down prices, display techniques, merchandising ideas. He studied Kmart, Target, regional discounters, mom and pop shops. He took ideas from everywhere and adopted them. He later claimed he spent more time inside Kmart stores than any Kmart executive. And it was probably true.
Yeah.
And then this is what you think you're talking about with Brazil, where he got arrested in Brazil because he was down there studying stores, and he was measuring the aisles to see if they knew something that he didn't know. And they were like, what is this old guy doing, just like measuring our aisles? And they called the police on him. But yeah, that was a big part of the era, and this shaped a lot of his early innovations. What we talked about before was self-service merchandising. He took that from what he learned in the first Ben Franklin store, expanded this, buying directly from manufacturers to cut costs. And then that was the thing where it's like kind of break the rules type stuff, like we talked about.
Yeah.
And then aggressive price competition, which we see all throughout, like even now.
Yeah.
And then extending store hours. And so yeah, he like at this point, this is where he took a lot of what he learned in that first store and expanded it into these other Ben Franklin stores. And then also with those 5 and dime stores.
The 5, yeah. I think it's really important. The plane is interesting. He was driving 8 hours between his 2 stores through the mountains. And then he was like, oh, wait, I can just take a plane.
Yeah.
And it did cut down on the time significantly. Use that to scout the locations, like you were saying. That's like the kind of stuff that, I mean, you have to have the means to do it.
Yeah.
But also, like, nobody was thinking about these things.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to look at this from an aerial view and look at the traffic patterns and all that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, I wonder how like in depth he actually got down with aerial scouting, or if it was like a couple flyovers and it was like, oh, this seems good.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I mean, it's a new type of commitment to your business to get up in a plane and look down at, you know, your I guess the city plans and stuff like that. There are a couple stories of him like looking at traffic patterns and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm curious how much it actually weighed into the decisions.
Yeah. So in the late 1950s and early 1960s, he saw the discount retail revolution coming. He studied Soul Price's FedMart in San Diego and was deeply influenced by the concept. He approached Ben Franklin's parent company, Butler Brothers, about opening discount stores under the Ben Franklin umbrella, and they turned him down. They were like, why would we do that? They're like, why would we do that?
Exactly.
And their reasoning were like, margins were too thin, small towns couldn't support discount stores, and so he decided to do it himself.
Yeah. And this is the whole, I can sell more at volume for a cheaper rate and then make more money.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's like also that pattern is they just, at that point, it's really hard to change the status quo and convention.
Especially when it's profitable.
Yeah. And so a lot of times, I mean, I'm just shocked at how many times people go with their business to the people in place already, and they're like, yeah, we're not really interested in that. And that ends up becoming this,
their own arc.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. So
yeah, people get very blinded when things are going their way.
Yeah.
It's hard to be critical of something that's working.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And they were working, and they're like, look, you're making money, we're making money, why would we cut our margins?
Don't rock the boat.
They're like, why would we cut our margins? That makes no sense. But I think it was very prescient of him, and it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I see it coming, I'm gonna put myself out of business first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and the smart people do that.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting for somebody else, like Sam, to come in and do it for you.
Exactly. So 1962 to 1970 was the founding of Walmart. The first Walmart was in Rogers, Arkansas, July 2nd, 1962. Walton opened his first Walmart, Discount City, near his Bentonville base. And he basically, on opening day, said, we sell for less, satisfaction guaranteed. And those are the two driving principles that we see even today.
Yeah.
The store was modest, not much to look at. The first year sales were approximately $1 million. The name Walmart was inspired by Soul Price's FedMart. Walton likes the format in the name. And that's something that we're going to see a lot with Sam Walton is shamelessly copies.
Yeah. Take what you like.
I take from here, I take
what you
from here,
like.
I take from here. And I think that that's a hidden secret in a lot of people that are successful across the board, not just in business. I think it's in arts and music.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people where it's like, hey, I'm going to take this part, it influences this, it influences that. Stealing directly, like if you went in there and said, no, we're also FedMart,
right.
like that's a little bit much, right?
That's too much, yeah.
But the whole Walmart idea is something that I think,
yeah, take what you like.
Like that nice spin.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1962 was a pivotal year in discount retail. The same year, 3 other major discount chains opened. Kmart, Target, and Woolco. And all 4 launched 1962, but only Walmart survives to really dominate. Kmart, Target, and Woolco focused on urban and suburban markets. Walton focused on small towns. And this is that through line that we've been talking about this whole time. Walmart's insight was that small towns of 5,000 to 25,000 people were being completely ignored by the bigger retailers. And the conventional wisdom said that these towns couldn't support a discount store. But Walton proved them wrong. A town of 5,000 could support a discount store if it also drew on people and customers outside. And maybe with his flyovers, that's what he was seeing. He was like, hey, there's this small town right here, but there's a smaller town right here and a smaller town right here, and it's worth the drive.
Yeah.
For us to, go and say, hey, we're just gonna go and take this trip into Walmart and get what we need.
Yeah. And then becoming the store in a rural area, you become like a part of the community.
Yeah, it's exactly.
And that's kind of something that we see even today. Like when you were talking about being literally up in like near Alaska, it's like there is like a community Walmart. Yeah. And everyone's just like, yeah, we're going to the Walmart.
And there's 20,000 people there. And then on top of that, though, there were people from more remote villages that were going into town.
Because I knew it was there.
And they're like, we're going to go and get all of our stuff, taken care of at Walmart. And yeah, it was a big staple in the community. A part of the fabric, really.
Right.
But but this also gave him time, being the only discount in this rural area, he faced no direct competition. So it created almost a little bit of a moat. It gave him breathing room. It allowed him to try out his ideas because nobody was even looking there.
Right.
So he got to really build his brand and operate under the radar.
Stake a claim. And then defend it.
Yeah.
I think
aggressively.
Around this time, he also bought a newspaper, right? I don't know if it came up in your notes or not, but I believe around the time he bought the first Walmart, he also bought a newspaper in the same town where he would be able to advertise his stuff for really cheap.
Oh, I mean, it's
just that synergy.
This genius.
That really plays into this whole, like, we're going to capture these rural people with discounts so that they'll buy more and more and more, and I don't have to worry about my margins because it's just going to be a volume play.
Yeah. So, the growth during this time, he opened stores very methodically, expanding outward from Bentonville in a contiguous pattern. Each new store was within driving distance from the last, keeping logistics manageable. By the 1960s, he had 18 Walmart stores and 17 Ben Franklin franchises across 4 states, combined for $30 million in annual sales. And during this whole time, he was operating very lean. And they weren't capitally, like, they weren't, on the brink of bankruptcy, but they weren't living lavish.
Yeah, they weren't flush with cash.
Because, I mean, the whole model is a discount model.
Right.
And so to really expand operations, on October 1st, 1970, they went public with an initial offering of 300,000 shares at $16.50 per share. At the time, they had 32 stores, like I was saying before. 2 years later, it was listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Going public gave Walton the capital to build distribution centers and fund aggressive expansion. A $1,000 investment in Walmart stock at IPO would eventually be worth over $13 million.
It was critical. I think he had a hard time getting people to give him money for discount stores.
Yeah.
And so one of the really easier ways to fundraise money is do an IPO.
Yeah.
And then control that stuff. There is the risk of losing your company when you go public. But having enough faith in your processes and your company to actually to do that well, I think speaks to a lot of his conviction.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very unconventional. He took the very unconventional approach at the time. Again, it seems like the discount store seems pretty obvious today, but back then it just wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, and even now it would seem almost impossible to try and open up near a Walmart. You know what I mean? Like, I know, like, we have an Ollie's over here that tries to do it, and they do a pretty good job, but it would be very hard because those discounts are, I think, so big.
The last person we saw was Jeff Bezos last week.
Oh yeah.
Was like that in providing discount retail to a large amount of people.
And when they're at that scale, you can start having things that are below the cost of other retailers.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you can't even compete, because even if I wanted to lower my cost, I can't beat what you're selling for. So
yeah. So 1970 to 1985, this is when they really started expanding aggressively. He has capital now, and he can really start putting this into motion. This is when they start going nationally.
I think it was around this time was this around the minimum wage?
Talk on it.
So I believe Walmart, throughout his success and expanding in these rural areas, I mean, he needed employees, and so he was hiring farmers for like 50 cents, like cheap labor, because their farms weren't doing so well. So he would have these employees. The federal government came out with the very first of its kind minimum wage. I think it bumped it from nothing, because she didn't have one, to like $1.50. And Sam was ruthless about fighting against these things to protect his profits. And I think it's it's obvious, right? I think any business owner would probably do that. But it's also interesting in that concept that we talk about in terms of like always going for the best for the customer.
Yeah.
It may not be best for the employee, but it is best for the customer to keep those prices low.
It's and we're gonna get into this stuff, especially in the secret. Yeah, especially in that super secret founders drive, because I think it speaks to It's just a fundamentally different way of looking at it.
Yeah.
And I think it also clarifies how the world really operates, because I think it's not how every company operates.
Right.
But the successful ones, I believe, do prioritize customer satisfaction overall. He believes that he works for the customer.
Right.
And well, actually, he believes that he works for his team, and that the team works for the customer.
They're all in service of the customer. What's best for the customer?
Yeah. And so I think that, but again, I think it helps clarify what's happening a little bit more than what we might have assumed the model was actually like before.
Okay.
And I think that that's important
in terms
to
of
know.
like, oh, all these employees are getting good benefits and they're getting good like that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like that was a way for people thought they were going to compete, but in reality, it's like, okay, do you want to copy Charles Barkley, or do you want to copy Michael Jordan? Like, who's going to win at the end of the day?
Right.
One might have a lot of success, but ultimately it's going to be a capped success, as opposed to the model that ends up lasting. I mean, Walmart's still the biggest company in the world by revenue.
Yeah.
And by number of employees.
Right.
So they're doing something to stay in business that other people just aren't doing. And then you see that with Amazon. And so it's fundamentally important to understand how they conceptualize business, because that seems to be the one that's lasting the longest. But anyway, so coming down here, we see that they have this hub and spoke distribution model in the 1970s that they really started to implement. Walmart's most important strategic innovation was this whole distribution center, where they basically established a distribution center and then they set up all the stores around it, so that way it's really easy to get items from point A to point B.
Yep.
Each distribution center served stores within a 350-mile radius, roughly a day's drive for a truck. New stores were open within range of existing distribution centers before building the next hub. This created massive efficiencies, lowered transportation costs, faster restocking, and centralized inventory management, while competitors shipped directly from manufacturers to individual stores. Walmart consolidated shipments through its distribution network. This model was the engine that made the whole low prices economically viable.
Yeah, something you'll see today, right, with the modern Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
You know, there's a way that they can get you that item same day.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same hub and spoke, just at even more scale, where, I mean, and you also see there's actually a distribution center here for Walmart, I think in Livonia here, but these giant warehouses of just product that is central to all these stores, but also critical in making sure that you can keep your costs low.
Yeah.
Critical for that
You
stuff.
combine that with some predictive analytics and things.
Oof.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, big tech.
Yeah. And speaking of that, so they were some of the first to really introduce technology, and this really set them apart.
And they still are today, which is great. But
so he wasn't a tech person at all, but he understood that technology was a force multiplier with his low-cost strategy. In the early 1970s, he was one of the first retailers to use computers for inventory management. In 1983, he installed a private satellite communication system, the largest private satellite network in the world at the time. The satellite allowed real-time communication between every store distribution center and headquarters in Bentonville. Stores used handheld computers called Magic Wands. They had the whole radio frequency where they could communicate with the in-store terminals. And this tracked inventory deliveries, backup stock. By the mid-1980s, Walmart had better real-time data on its inventory than any retailer on earth. And the data advantage allowed them to restock faster, negotiate better with suppliers, and respond to demand shifts in real time. And that's just a huge differentiator. It's like how you're doing things. I mean, that's technology. How you're doing things matters. And they ended up using this real-time inventory information as a way of setting themselves even further apart from their competition.
It's also as a good business owner, know your business. Know your numbers. Make them as real time as possible. There's no, if you can make them real time, there's no reason to wait for a week or 2 months to get your numbers. You know what I mean?
And it enables other capabilities too. You can negotiate fast. So that's a big thing. Hey, we're not paying that because we just got our numbers in, and it's telling us that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about this whole supplier squeeze, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing that they do today very successfully.
Mm-hmm.
Something that Sam started, but they do today very successfully, to the point where it's almost impossible to get your product into Walmart shelves because there's so much competition for that stuff. And stuff we'll definitely talk about in the Super Secret episode on how we think about this stuff and how we apply it to business in today's world.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, definitely stacking the deck in your favor. Something that Sam was doing.
Yeah. And creating so much leverage there.
Exactly.
So, 1983, he ended up opening up Sam's Club, and this was inspired by Soul Price's Price Club.
That's right.
Walton launched in 1983. The first location was in Oklahoma, and he basically visited Soul Price in San Diego, and he studied it. He said, I didn't tell him at the time that I was going to copy his program, but that's what I did.
I mean, did anyone here watching know that Sam's Club was Walmart?
Yeah.
It's like most people probably don't even know that.
They don't make that connection there,
but it's that same Butler Brothers, supplier relationship with Ben Franklin that now Walmart has with Sam's Club.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. A huge empire.
Yeah. So he, I mean, it was really incredible, and so that's something that he took from Soul Price, but it's just a display of how he didn't run away from good ideas. He embraced them, copied them, and he really took them as far as he could. And so 1985 to 1992, he died in 1992.
Yep.
1985, he was billed the richest man in America. Forbes named him that, and he had an estimated net worth of $2.8 billion back then. He was 67 years old, and he was characteristically unimpressed. That just wasn't his motif. He was in business for the competition of it, and just it gave him life. And that's what he really enjoyed.
But he was also driving the same truck, using the same hunting dogs, living in the same, like, he didn't have that flashy lifestyle that the richest person in America might have.
Yeah. And the intention embarrassed him, actually. He had no interest in the lifestyle of being a billionaire. He already spread out he said it was misleading too, because he already spread out his shares to his family.
The succession plan is insane.
Yeah. I mean, all of them are, the Walmart estate right now, when you look at all of the family members, is over $500 billion.
When he died, his kids jumped up the list immediately. It was wild.
Yeah. So he ended up again dying in 1992. Right before he died, he got the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. And he was already gravely ill at the time. But then in his last years, he also wrote Made in America,
which is
his famous autobiography, and he put a lot of his his game in there and his experiences in there, and it was just one of those things where it's seen as such a solid book because it's not seen as a PR stunt. It was seen as one of these things where he was like, I know I'm on limited time, I know I'm on borrowed time, and so I want to put the things that I've learned into this book. And so that's why it's one of those things that is glorified in the business world.
I mean, and it should be. I think Sam's story is fantastic.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like, just as a kind of aftershadowing, is it ended up going to, like, the company ended up growing significantly after he died. I mean, he set up these systems that allowed for it to really continue to just feed off of this flywheel effect. And even today, we're seeing it. It's the number one company in terms of revenue and in terms of people.
Employees, Yeah, Walmart, not going away anytime soon.
No, not at all. So, I'm going to rattle off his 10 rules for building a business, his key philosophies.
Yes.
And then let's go into the super secret.
Sounds great.
And we'll actually dive into this stuff and leave it there. So, rule number 1, commit to your business. Rule number 2, share your profits with all your associates and treat them as partners. Rule number 3, motivate your partners. Rule number 4, communicate everything you possibly can to your partners. Rule number 5, appreciate everything your associates do for the business. Rule number 6, celebrate your successes. Rule number 7, listen to everyone in your company. Rule number 8, exceed your customers' expectations. Rule number 9, control your expenses better than your competition.
Mm-hmm.
And rule 10, swim upstream.
Yeah. Like a great set of lessons. And he puts these in the book too.
Yeah.
And goes at length about how we can, talk about these. But I believe we're going to talk about these in the super secret.
Oh, yeah.
And how we're going to apply these and some more of the little controversial stuff
in
Walmart's history.
Yep. And then talking a little bit about his psychology and, the viewpoint that made all of this stuff happen. So it's definitely worth the watch. Join us and find us on constance.com.
Yes.
Where, you'll be able to get even more of the materials. But yeah, we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Peace.